Why I stayed away from using the word coma while working in the neuro ICU when working with patient family members. The word coma means different things to different people. And in the medical sense, if someone is like comatose, what that means often to healthcare providers is that the person is so neurologically compromised that they're not responding to any stimuli. So that means, okay, I can say their name and try to wake them up. They're not going to wake up. I can shake them. They're not going to wake up. I can then use painful stimuli which is like a sternal pressure, trap pinch, supraorbital pressure. And they're not going to respond. The part of their brain that says, hey, you're experiencing pain and you need to do something about it. That basic primal instinct is not there. And this is without sedation. This is there's no medication on board that would sway this assessment. So can you imagine that? Someone with no pain meds, no sedatives on board, and you push down on their chest, you pinch them really hard, you push here really hard, you do real painful stimuli, not a flicker of movement in their body. Then you can do even more assessments of these like primal reflexes, like their blink to threat and their corneal reflex of, hey, if something touches this very sensitive area of your body, like your cornea, will eat that basic instinct to just attempt to close your eye. Is that still there? And if that's not, that means that's an unresponsive patient. Like if all of those they're not responding to any of it, that is an unresponsive patient. But I think the word coma to the public can mean anything from that to, maybe they're constantly asleep and will maybe open their eyes but then go back to sleep, or they'll move a little bit, or they'll respond to certain reflexive things, but they're just not interacting. And so I think it is a term that you want to make sure that you're on the same page. And one thing that I would find is family members would say, oh, they had a flicker of movement. Oh my gosh, that means that's the best thing ever. And it's like, actually, that might have been reflexive, and that, that doesn't necessarily indicate that there is like meaningful brain function. And then it's like, and I understand that you're like looking for any glimmer of hope. But so using that word coma can be actually very confusing, and you want to be very clear about what is actually happening with the patient and what they're seeing. And I felt that would give people like the wrong impression of what was actually happening with their loved one. Follow for more nurse tips.